I literally said to him, does it bother you that you think about black men so much more than they will ever think about you?
Typically, a lot of white men are really insecure whenever you talk about you've ever dated a black man or something. They get so insecure about it.
Why do y'all get so dramatically offended when a white woman is dating a black man?
Obsessed upon by white men, BBC. Or you got they're always have these obsessions with black men, taking their wives.
If you go on a date with a woman and you have to ask a non-black woman that have they been with a black guy, you are insecure. You're a racist.
I slept with a black man.
This is an interesting one. It's one that a lot of white women will understand as well, because a lot of white men, the racism will be with their girlfriends. If they suggest a black male is attractive, if they talk about an ex that's black, if they bring home a black boyfriend, that's when the real racism's tested. And this isn't all white people, absolutely not, but that's when it's tested. I have an example. Two friends of mine, acquaintances of mine were arguing, and the one says to the other, well, at least my girlfriend didn't go out with black people before me. That's what he said. That's what he said to him. And of all the slurs he had said before, he was talking about his mum, his kids, everything. Of all the slurs, that was the one that upset the guy the most. He's like, how dare you? No, she didn't. There was arguing backwards and forth whether she did. She did. She definitely did. But yeah, that's how you find it.
Man.
Insecure whenever you talk about you've ever dated a black man or something. They get so insecure about it.
What's one thing to make a guy more attractive?
Definitely confidence, because I think a lot of guys are very insecure.
I like that. Confidence is important. Do you meet a lot of guys that are not confident?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the most unconfident man you have ever met?
I wouldn't say there's one that was the most, but typically a lot of white men are really insecure whenever you talk about you've ever dated a black man or something. They get so insecure about it. They say you're contaminated and stuff. I've had guys tell me that multiple times.
Really?
Yes.
What's up with these guys, man? They don't sound confident at all.
I know. White men are the most unconfident. I don't want to say all of them, but all the ones I've met have always asked the question, have you ever been with a black guy?
I've never asked that question. That's really stupid. That doesn't
so
matter.
Stupid.
Just be confident, treat the girl good. That's wild.
I slept with a black man.
This is
If it could all be that simple, but it's not. Racism is still a thing in this society, and it's not just white men. It's actually all men, right? You'll find Indian men may do the same thing. Some Spanish men, not as much, but it's mostly white, but also other men that are insecure. And that's what it is. It's an insecure thing, because they think, oh, he's white and all outside, and that ain't right. Stop thinking about a man doing something to your girl that you can't do. That's insecurity. It truly is, and it's showing. And it's a sad situation, and it's wild, because if your girl's a pass around, that's a whole nother ballgame. If your girl's a pass around, you should avoid being with her. But just because she's been around with a black guy, sometimes it can mean something, but most times it doesn't mean anything. I have an opportunity you guys can take advantage of. You may have 9 to 5 right now. This is the same tactics they use. I show how companies do this and instantly go from 0 to 3 million in 3 years. In this video also, I'll give a video where I'll show you how to build that kind of business ethically, step by step. Within the first 10 minutes, you'll understand the core strategy and how to start putting this into action. Now, you'll also get a bonus PDF, practical ideas. It helps build a motivated team and also create a positive work environment and growing your business that benefits both you and the people you have. And if you're ready to stop thinking like an employee, start thinking like a business owner, click the link in the description It will help you. It will be a wealth of information that will make you a lot of money. See you on the other side.
White men and a white man only. Why do y'all get so dramatically offended when a white woman is dating a black man? Why? Like, can I know? I don't get it. Is it for like the views and the likes? Is it just because you're bored and you want something to talk about? Like, you didn't want me. The hell? I look a whole damn mess and my black king love me. I woke up like this. But I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me know. Let me know, white man. Lay your bye. Mwah.
But you know what? She said it, right? She said, I woke up like this and he loves me. You know, there's a lot of black men out there that tend to be more accepting, right? As she said, her flaws. She'll have flaws. They may accept that. But it's not just that. If you listen to what these females are saying, yes, it's the pain, but a lot of times it's more than that. It's the attitude. It's the confidence. Females always love me because I'm confident. And I'm short. I'm a short king. I know not to talk to girls that are taller than me, but my confidence, it wins every time. That's what it is with a black guy. That unshakable confidence, it does a lot. And take a look at this here. This is the comments, right? It says, me personally, I don't give a F who with who. But to me, it's believed they be taking our females. And because we all know the package is bigger, so we can't compare. See? Only thinking about that. It's about this as well.
If a woman been with a black guy, that is a red flag to them.
What are 3 red flags in a relationship?
Going out without telling someone, being with a black guy before.
I wonder why.
And wait, let him get to. Let me think of a good one.
When she's talking to an ex, when she's in bed with you, when she hangs out the black man before you.
Here's a white boy actually saying that put on a leash after she asked this question.
I got a good one. When they try to put you on a leash. That's a red flag when they try to put you on a leash.
Now, we know what he's actually trying to say. You know, we're smart. You know what I'm saying? Come on. He just don't have the courage to say out loud. He didn't want to say black. Come on. We know what he actually means. The fact that black woman sat there and laughed makes it a whole problem issue. And these white boys, bro, you can literally tell black men took their girlfriends growing up. That's why they have so much hatred on black men. They get jealous of black men. Honestly, bro, it's insecurity, it's hatred, racism at this point. It's really getting sad, bro. If you go on a date with a woman and you have to ask a non-black woman that have they been with a black guy, you are insecure. You're a racist.
And they've asked me if I've dated black guys before is ridiculous. I was on a date with this white guy in Chicago last year and he goes, so who do you typically date? The guys that look like me? I knew exactly what he was getting at because most white guys will ask this question at some point because they're trying to figure out ultimately if you're quote tainted. I literally said to him, does it bother you that you think about black men so much more than they will ever think about you?
These 2 books right here. I keep telling y'all to go read.
White men can't hump.
White men can't hump as good as black men. Race and Sex in America's Volume 1 and 2. Take a screenshot, okay? Amazon. Great book. Great book. It explains this entire mentality surrounded when it comes to white males' obsession with black men's schnitzel sticks. It goes into the psyche, it goes into the history, it goes into the mental makeup of white America's obsession, specifically white male obsession with the black male schnitzel stick, right? How a lot of these issues and problems that we arise and their obsession with it, right? Goes into the black male sexual stigmas and all these different things about our bodies and things, because we often highlight and talk about black women, but we never highlight and talk about hypersexualization and objectification of black male bodies, right? which we both go through. That's why I always say these debates we have in our community about, oh, who's going through the struggle Olympics. Like, we go through the same shit. We really do. But they've always been obsessed with black men. Always have. Why do you think there's an entire category that's, obsessed upon by white men? BBC. Or you got they're always have these obsessions with black men, taking their wives and shit. They have an entire section for that. CUCK fetish, right? Hell, I even knew that was a big thing in my last unit when I was in the Marine Corps. All them white boys was having those, seeking out what they call bulls, black bulls, to.
But one thing he said it, the sickness he said, right? And because you see it on porn sites, they do have those categories: BBC and cuck, taken by BBC. It's like they're dreaming about it. It's sick.
Do their wives.
Yeah.
Video recording,
That's
they
right.
sell it. Right? One of my partner's staff sergeant at the motor pool at that time, dark skinned black dude, black as hell. And that's the type they go after. And yeah, that's how he would make money. On the side in the Marine Corps. Fucking white dudes' wives. The same way white women have this secret, obsession with black women, their hair and their bodies and things like that, these white men do the same thing with black men. The same fucking thing. Even when you go back, you know what I'm saying, throughout, during, Jim Crow or slavery or whatnot. Of course, we know about like book breaking, how, Massa wife would even, the same way Massa would make the female slaves, come in and take advantage of them. Massa wife would do the same thing to black men. Same fucking thing. Or when you go to when they would terrorize and burn down and destroy black towns, what was the reason 99.9% of the time? Because it was behind a white woman saying she was taken advantage of by a black man. And now the white man got to go burn the whole city down. When they would, hang black men during Jim Crow or even slavery, but, we going chronologically, let's go Jim Crow. What would be they would gather around this black man that they've already, taken his life and burned him alive. What was the first thing they would do? Strip him naked, castrate him. What was the point of that? Yeah, those books I showed at the beginning go into all.
Man, it's getting a little graphic now. But yeah, I'm sure in a sick way, it goes back to that. I hate to bring that up, but it's so true. Things are very racial. Still, this day in 2026, in July, some of these things are still true. It's sad, but what can we do, right?
And it is racist. There's a thing white guys do that whenever they're dating a woman for the first time, they always ask them eventually, have you ever, see, I didn't even finish. Every one of you.
It's so bad. Even comedians are talking about it. That's when you know it's a problem. When comedians are talking about it.
Weird thing to ask. You shouldn't do it. All right? You got to find the right time to ask, though. You don't want to go too early with that. You look like a psycho. You don't want to be like on Tinder, like, have you ever had sex with a black guy before? It's a shameful thing to ask. It's weird. I've done it.
Listen, white men who ask their white girlfriends if they've ever been with a black guy pretty much ask them for one reason and one reason only, okay? It's because they're insecure about their package size in the bedroom. That kind of correlates with the myth that all black men is packing and once you go black, you never go back. And that makes white men very insecure, okay? Not all white men, but a lot of white men, and a lot of people can say, well, they're the ones that got all the power and the financial infrastructure, they don't care about that. Yes, they do. They absolutely care about it. Let me give y'all a little story time, okay? Y'all, the reason why I know this is because I've been with, You know, as a SW worker, okay, stripper, whatever you want to call it, right? I've been with a good bit of white women, okay, and I, you know, judge me how you want to judge me, whatever, but I've been with a good bit of white women, whether they're married or not, and whether their husband, you know, is cool with a black dude or not, right? And a lot of them will be so jealous and insecure to the point where they will literally force their woman to be with me. Yes, that's right, I said it. They will force their woman to be with me in the sense that, you know, they will be like,
That's the case, though.
like, I got stories, y'all. I got stories. They do it because it's like, I know you want this guy. I know you want him. Come on, babe. I know you want him. Like, you gotta want him. Look at him. Then it, like, listen, y'all. Listen. But that's a way of showing your insecurity. That's a whole different topic for a whole nother day, and it goes into depth, right? I got stories for days about this. This is how I know this, okay? They are very insecure, and they show their insecurities in a lot of different ways, right? Not saying this guy was, but because he was making a joke about it, but this happens a lot more oftentimes than not.
I understand what he's saying. I don't think they're insecure all the time, but I don't think when they were meeting with him, it's because their man is insecure, right? I don't think that's the case. Yeah, he may have mentioned it, but if he's taking it too far, why is she meeting with you and getting with you if she's married or in a relationship? That's just the girl being the 304. Like, we got to keep it real. There's a lot of 304s in the West, right? And yeah, what a lot of them say is bad, but some of it is right. Because I'll keep a spade a spade. There are a lot of right 304s walking around in the world, right? Just having orgies with black dudes. It's happening. There's 304s in the black community, white community, Spanish community, Filipino community, every community under the sun. We got to keep it real and call it for what it is. A lot of girls out there 304s. That's real. A lot of guys are insecure, but both can be true at the same time.
Blue. Do you think black people should pay reparations to white people for using up all the welfare and committing so much crime?
Let's say there was 100 chimpanzees, and 13 of those chimpanzees were causing 60% of the issues in the chimp community. What's your
body count?
Oh, 2.
What if you weren't lying?
I'm not lying.
You multiply it by 3?
No, I respect myself. I have 2.
As a dog, am very disappointed. All he's attracting are insults and racists.
Wow.
No, it's not coming,
Why
bro.
are you getting so mad over?
No, you're not about to clown my people on the internet and think it's sweet.
I clown everyone.
No, you're not clowning my people.
I clown
Freedom of speech, but you're not freedom of the shit that come behind it. So watch how you talk to people, because you're not gonna clown my people on the internet, bro.
You know, what he has to understand, everybody's not going for that, right? Free speech is real, but you can't freely speak in public and bash people. You know, that's what Chud the Builder did. And then he faced the consequences. It's wild because he actually defended himself very well with weapons. But why are you yapping like that and causing that to happen?
Behavior saying, yeah, well, we should be able to say the N-word. I don't know. I don't want to be a victim of crime. I don't actually necessarily want to be out in public confronting black people, calling them like, I actually don't want to do that. I don't think people should be fired for uttering the word. And I think it's a funny word. I don't think it should be treated like a blasphemy, but let's be honest, it's not a nice thing to say. It's actually not a very nice thing to say. And I don't know that we should actually be out there saying, hey, man, we should be able to go up to black people and start blasting a slur that offends them without expecting them to be offended. was that really ever the rallying cry? To me, it was more like, stop smoking weed in public, stop driving on the shoulder, talk more quietly, don't be on speakerphone all the time. It's more things like that.
But of course, my lack of fandom doesn't determine whether or not this is self-defense. And essentially what the argument is going to boil down to is that in the state of Tennessee, you do not have a duty to retreat. So if somebody is presenting themselves as a deadly force against you, then you can stand your ground against that deadly force threat. Now, based on the account that we're hearing from the Chud the Builder guy from the recorded audio, which by the way, this guy should not be talking to the police. He should not be doing statements or anything of the sort. He should be definitely clamming up and let his lawyer handle this. He's making the case that unprovoked, this guy basically recognized him outside of the courthouse. He said all of these things to indicate that he was a deadly threat. Then he approached them. They got into a scuffle. And if you announce yourself as a deadly threat, you're saying that you have PTSD, you can't control yourself, you're going to kill someone, and you pull out a gun and shoot that person. You saying the N-word in the past and all the crazy things that he did doesn't actually undercut that self-defense argument. So again, if true, if that's actually what happened, regardless of how you feel about this guy, this would be a self-defense case. But the problem is, this guy has a long history of directly provoking these interactions. The idea that random black person would be passing by and happen to know him, and again, if there's information about this being targeted, like the guy was waiting outside the courthouse, he followed the streams, he expected him to be there, or he had some prior information that would change up the math, I think is highly unlikely. I believe that there is a chance that this guy was doing his shtick or maybe provoked this altercation, and thus this would not be justifiable self-defense. And in fact, he has described before on live stream that he's looking forward to a scenario where he can end a black person who attacks him, then get acquitted, to make more black people across the country chimp out, as he describes it. And for me, this is not going to help him. All those past statements, he better help they get suppressed in leading up to this case, because even if the evidence is not sound, if people find you reprehensible on a jury, unfortunately, you could be in a scenario where you're facing conviction for attempted murder. And guess what? He's going to find out what it's like to actually live amongst black people and not be able to escape them. And we're talking the real criminal black people that are found in prison. Now, again, regardless of how I feel about somebody's behavior, how reprehensible that is, technically, yes, this is protected under freedom of speech. Although I will point out, if you're directly trying to provoke an altercation so that you can escalate to deadly force, then this is not a free speech issue. You're provoking that. And by the way, provocation can undercut a self-defense claim, even in a state like Tennessee that has very strong self-defense protections. Then yeah, then he's going to get into a problem. Then he's going to face significant consequences. And he was already facing legal consequences before. But the thing is, with these streamers, these nuisance streamers, is that they constantly escalate until they get to a point like this. Now, with all that being said, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. And again, I will remind you that the information that I have at this moment is the information I was able to find on May 15th at like 2 o'clock Eastern time when I'm shooting this video.
So you know what's going on, right? Most likely he's going to be in jail for quite some time, right? And if not for attempted murder, at least probably for a couple of years, 2-3 years, right? The minimum, I give it. But what's going to happen is when you're in jail, he could get protected by the guys that are racist, right? And who is that? The Aryan Brotherhood. But you know what? It's weird. From the new things that came out about him, I don't think they will protect him. Let's get into that.
Mine today. He said that white men don't approach black women for the most part because they assume that black women are race loyal and only date black men. This is not the case for me specifically because I've predominantly dated white men in my life, and I think it's due to me being trans. I think that white men are more open to openly dating a trans person. Heavy on openly, because I am nobody's secret. If you can't hold my hand walking down the street, you can't take me on a date, then there's no reason for me and you to be conversing. This is a whole other topic. Let me know if you guys want me to get into this in another video. But for black cis women dating white men, I think there's a lot of historical and cultural implications that play into this. In regard to the cultural context, I think a lot of people would prefer to have someone that understands their struggle, someone that they can relate to on that base level in regard to power structures and the hierarchy that we acknowledge and maneuver in this society. And then, of course, there is just physical attraction. Some black women just don't find white men to be physically attractive for the most part, and vice versa. There's this intercommunal push for black love, black power couples, the black nuclear family, but unfortunately, statistically, a lot of our relationships do not reflect these sentiments. Studies show that the lowest divorce rate between married couples is between a black woman and a white man. And this is by no means a video of me trying to convince black women to date white men, because I don't care who y'all date. I don't know y'all. I just thought it was interesting because in a lot of music, like Nicki Minaj, I'm so fly, just bagged a white guy, they make it seem like you have to be this 10 out of 10 size 0 supermodel to bag a white guy as a black woman. And in reality, most of them are just afraid of the rejection that they would get from the black women. So it's just an interesting dichotomy.
So you heard her. She pretty much explained why she chooses a white man. And that's very important. The reason why I showed that video is because of this.
Last year, May 2025, I Chud the Builder. He sent me these texts with his baby mama, who was Latina, months later.
You heard that, right? Chud the Builder got with her. And I wouldn't have believed it until
After a date, she
I saw
said,
pictures
"Go
of them
live
together.
happily ever after with a dude. Get him, girl." And then he said, back in the day, when women were made to be feminine, that's when society was the best and the least gay it occurred. Every time women get out of hand, the feminists go back to the Roman days and dudes who are more femme than their fat girlfriends are. Women are...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Look. That's you, bro. If that's how you get down, that's what you'll do. But men don't just flip a switch and go bang men. It doesn't work like that.
They're so manly. Dudes would rather fuck a femboy than come home to their GF. Just who act like dudes will call men gay for fucking femboys who are more feminine than they are.
How dare you not want to come home and man with a pussy?
Sorry, babe. I'd rather fuck a girl with a dick than an N-word with a mid pussy like yours.
What did Mr. Poopy Butthole from Rick and Morty, not Chud the Builder, say about this situation? He said something like, ooh-wee. For the most part, the internet doesn't care about people's personal lives. What they do behind closed doors is their business and their business alone. But the problem is that when you go to the internet and you try to portray this specific image about your life that contradicts what you do behind closed doors, you best believe that when that door opens, it's not going to be a crack. It's going to come flying open and people are going to have things to say. And that's exactly where Chud the Builder is right now today. Chud the Builder spent countless years building up his brand and identity as a God-fearing, traditional criticizer of the LGBTQ community, pounding on his chest, big, strong alpha male. And the whole time, behind closed doors, he was somebody who was getting excavated, right? He was getting pounded out. He was getting a colonoscopy on the regular. Now, this isn't a video to make fun of him for that. Hey, it's still June, it's still Pride Month, and even if it wasn't, I am pro LGBTQ and all of those things. But what makes it so funny is that he has tried to portray his life to be something so totally different on the opposite end of the spectrum. And the whole time he's doing the bending. He's getting his back beat in. And now the toothpaste is out the tube because one of his ex-lovers, and I do mean one of them because there are others, and we'll get to those in a minute, has come to the internet posting irrefutable and damning evidence of Chud the Builder bending it over, spreading it eagle, and preferring that even over his ex-fiance, baby mama, or whatever we're calling it. And I would say Chud the Builder is screwed, but he might like that. I guess that's why he did a speed run to the penitentiary. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long, long way for the channel. Did I say penitentiary? I meant to say penetration. Yo, double entendre. Don't ask me how. Now, back into the video. You see, the thing about internet personalities is that they just don't build audiences. They build whole characters. For Chud the Builder, that was somebody who claimed to stand on traditional values. Hey, you should be able to say what you want. Words shouldn't mean too much. I believe in traditional values. What is that? The nuclear family. Women should not be in charge. They should be in the kitchen. Men should lead. All these different things. Christianity over everything.
Brothers! What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.